and just really just doing a Sunday drive, because he's pulling away by about maybe half a tenth to a tenth each time. He loses slightly on slight times. Maybe just ebbing and flowing at this point. It looks like these two are still not really able to do anything. So it looks like we will have another very close battle once again. As it looks like Eke has failed to actually get past Viper in either of the DRS zones once again. And this really is... if I was Eke, I'd probably go for an undercut sometime soon, because he really needs to go for one, as SVGE Akko has managed to get past NW Null in the Mercedes into turn 1 and has the DRS into here and completes the move. As Urban Unicorn picks himself up a time penalty, so we're back to the battle up front. We're on the battles up front. The battle has been raging since, well, since the dawn of time really, with these two right here. And this is... Validate Viper can just defend for all he needs to do, because this is only really straight he has to worry about in terms of potential overtakes, potentially being overtaken. And once again, he goes to defend. Eke tries to get some of the slipstream before he pulls out, and look at the gap now between them and Tom Battlers. Tom Battlers is... he's made some ground, but I would expect him to make more, to be honest, with what's going on. I know he did make a little bit there. I think he took about... I'd say maybe 3/10 out of the gap there between himself and Eke, and just I thought we'd be catching more, to be honest. Just off of that. A little bit of mistake there from Urban Unicorn as we hop back on board with him. Looks like Benziller's not really... he's just about keeping within half a second of top Tom, but I think this will be one of the strongest results for Sauber this season if they can keep this up. But look who's lurking in the background. Vies Arsura, who is a man on a mission to catch back up again, because he had a decent race last time out. I think he was the winner by a fair old margin last time out in Germany with the wet conditions. He was a masterclass, like he was in Mexico with the wet conditions. Here they go. It looks like Urban Unicorn's going to try and go for a move. Sorry about that camera angle. That was terrible. That one looking in the back of the car. Can't see anything there. Benzo has managed to defend the inside line though. Sira has elected to pit. And so has Eke, because he was stuck behind for so long. So he pits on lap 13 and he goes into the mediums. So these guys will be taking those tires to the end. They'll be fairly comfortable. There's a bit of contact between Urban Unicorn and Benziller. Don't know if there would have been any wing damage from that one, but Urban Unicorn got the job done. It was a little questionable on Urban Unicorn's behalf, but I think it was just about fair. Probably just a bit left enough space, maybe just a little bit of contact there in the sort of the exit of the actual corner there. And now Benziller is going to have to try and see about catching back up again to the Sauber, but it looks like the tyres have actually gone off for him. Now the question is, Vies Arsura, who's further back, so he fixed himself with 10 penalties now, and there's still a few of them starting to come in now. Up here on that sort of the board, penalty board there. As in comes Benzor, indeed he does. He's going for the undercut right there on Urban Unicorn and Top Tom. A very difficult pit lane to get right, because you can't really, there's not an obvious line. It's like kind of a line on the ground, you don't really see it all that well. As Viper has elected to pit as well, so let's see how he gets on. We'll have to see where Eke comes out in relation to him, because Eke is just coming around the final corner. He's got to get those tires up to temperature, and they're going to take about at least 2 laps to get up to temperature from what my experience of this is, depending on, it might be different on the setups. But it looks like Validated Viper's still in the pits, and is Eke going to be able to jump him? Of course, Validated Viper's going to have 1 lap less, 1 lap will be of brand new tires, and it looks like he hasn't jumped him. The undercut hasn't worked, but he'll have he'll have one lap fresher tyres and tyres that are warmed up, and indeed he does get back through. So again, battle resumed between those two. Tell you who actually has come into play again though is Vaser Sera, because he's managed to he's on the 1 lap tyres, which means he's actually managed to get his tyres up to temperature. And he's managed to, he's not quite cleared him yet because there's not really a section you can I don't think you can overtake him very easily. But Sarah's probably going to have a lot of help in knowing that Mighty Dylan, who's in front of him, obviously not pitted yet, as some leaders haven't now indeed pit as well, as Top Tom has elected to stay out because obviously Urban Unicorn came in, as it looks like that, Mighty Dylan Benzo's trying to go for a move, and it looks like that Mighty Dylan has lost 2 positions there and falls behind his teammate in the Ferrari, sort of the much quicker Ferrari right there. And let's see if he can make any moves stick. They go to the DRS snaking train down the straight, but Benzel has not defended the inside line enough, and VSR Sira is up to P5. So looking good for recovery at the moment as EK sets the fastest lap of the race, probably while being chased, but looks like Ben Ziller's had an issue, and obviously on those new tyres, and looks like Mighty Dylan could have an opportunity or a pop at him, but nope. I think the worn tyres on that Ferrari, the second Ferrari, really didn't help him there. He's on 14 lap old tyres, and I don't think he's going to be able to do anything really with that, as Vaser Serra now picks himself up a time penalty as well. Wait and see when that battle recommences with Valde, Viper and Eke. 1.5 seconds at this moment in time until it will grow a little bit until Validated Viper gets his tyres up to temperature, and then it'll be a battle back on, I think, again, as Top Tom is finally pit. Well, one of the last front runners to pit. We're still waiting for Mighty Dylan to pit off of his 14 lap old softs, and SVG Aquat on the Haas in 11th to pit off of the softs as well. So I think he's had to pit again. So yeah. Top Tom has dropped out. I think he would come out around, he'll come out about where he was before, I think, unless he gets jumped. I think he's come out in P3, so he's made that work. But he's got his teammate all over him at this moment in time. There's contact! There's been contact between the two servers. Just caught the edge of that. Oh dear, that's an issue. I'm not sure what happened there. Top Tom has just come at the pits. Had a battle with Urban Unicorn, and I think Urban Unicorn has had an issue. Oh dear. Urban Unicorn, they've come together at some point. No idea what's happened there. We caught the very edge of it right there. So really, all about just that. And I'm not sure if he got a damage from that, but that's going to cost him a whole load of time. And then Ben Zoller is obviously just behind now, only half a tenth. Oof, he's revving. That's going for the tactic of revving the gears out an awful lot right there. As I think we only have 11 runners left in this Grand Prix because, well, I think East Army is not in this race anymore because I think he's disconnected and he hasn't come back this time. So is Benzo going to be able to do anything around this final corner? I think he actually has the revving glitch, so I can't sit on board with that. No, he doesn't. It's just him revving the gears out. Jeez. I think that's the quickest way to actually get the car in the track as well. Yeah. Looks like he's not able to really do anything, and Sir has actually got himself up into P3, and he's currently going after Tom 123 for the win, who looks like he is struggling a little bit once again. He's got his tyres up to temperature now. I think he pitted on the same lap actually as VSR Infamous, and the gap is still about 7 seconds, so barring any mistakes, of course, from Infamous, I think for the most part he should be good. Just making sure that I don't clear Carson like I did in Germany, I think. So we now have the thing of the gates. It's now just suddenly just mellowed out a little bit. A few battles here and there. Looks like Eke has actually dropped Validated Viper a little bit, and that undercut has worked wonders for Eke right there, because he's managed to pull himself away from that gap. His Infamous once again is just showing off why. Maybe he's one of his favourite tracks, who knows, but he's just showing off his dominance here today. And yeah, Sarah pops himself into the quickest times right there, in a 1:18.9 in the mediums. So really, yeah, So really, it's all going to be about, if you want to get close to someone now, you're going to have to use pace to get close to someone, because there's no tyre advantage at this point, because everyone, of course, started on the soft tyres, including all, well, in the top 10, and the people outside the top 10, outside the top 10 as well, all started on the soft tyres. So really, it's all about that particular type of thing. And I think he's not quite, I think he's fell too far back, actually, so I don't think he's going to be able to really do much with what he's got right there. Looks like the gaps are quite big at this point in time, and not unlike Germany, it's kind of, there's not as much action to really be had, but the race did come alive in the later stages, if I remember very correctly, from Germany 2 weeks ago. Well, the rain might have done something for that as well, sort of rejigging everything up and doing that, but I think we're going to have a dry race on this occasion, so really it's just all going to be about not making mistakes, isn't it? As VSR Infamous is, well, he's just kind of doing his thing. He's just kind of doing what he has to do. He's just going quicker and quicker and just pulling the gap out. Sarah's actually responding, and he's reducing the gaps. 3.3 seconds between himself and Tom 123 for the win. So really, if he can actually do something with, if he can actually start pulling that gap down in clean air, he might actually be able to do something. So it looks like we're getting through lapped cars now as well. We'll see how Ben Zeller's getting on. I think Urban Unicorn is actually pulling away from him, so I don't think he's really able to do a lot with that. It looks like Validated Viper doesn't seem to have the same pace on the mediums as he did in the softs to AK. I think AK might have the upper hand now because of the fact that, yeah, he's maybe quicker in the mediums. But to note though that I think Eke might have a time penalty, whereas Validated Viper I definitely know doesn't, so maybe that could come into effect, who knows. As really, what else can be discussed at this point as we see Urban Unicorn with yet another time penalty. That could cost him in this battle for 4th place with Benzor, because I think he actually has 2 time penalties at this point in the race. Went to about 6 seconds, so really he's got to be careful on that. It's kind of what happens occasionally, is sometimes races will get stale. It's a lot like real life in a way. Sometimes it'll be like, yeah, there's a lot of battles for a period and then nothing happens at some point. Really, it's all about that. So while we're just going along, we can see if I can think of anything to think about. We'll say, just off of topic from the actual driving, the fact of sort of lap times and what's going on, the fact that Benzeler does like to rev out the gears an awful lot, and I mean, that probably uses up an awful lot of fuel, but apparently it's the way to go to actually make your car go faster, and it's just a thing of, I'm not sure how it works, but alright, it's not something you do in career mode obviously, but I don't think a lot of these guys actually care about career mode. They probably just do this purely just for league racing purposes, really, and the game hasn't really fully developed and delivered, really. So we can probably just talk a little bit in this section about what's going on with codes and all that, and wish lists of stuff that hopefully makes it into the game at some point. Wish lists of stuff that's in the game in the future, like making sure, just if it's not difficult, just adding dedicated servers. I mean, I don't see why it's so difficult to add dedicated servers. I mean, Codemasters might make more than enough money from this game, selling this game at about 60 quid. Maybe more than that for like Legends Edition and Special Editions. But I don't see the sense in why you cannot sell a game that has working online, and like peer-to-peer doesn't really do the job, especially when you're racing with people from all over the world. I mean, this league has like a fair few people. I mean, Sarah himself is from Brazil, so obviously he races from a different country. He races all the way from South America. And it's all really about that. And you obviously, because whenever you see the connection sometimes in lobbies, like I sometimes think the connection bar in a lobby is a bit of a lie, because someone could have a perfectly good connection in a lobby, and then when you get into a lobby, they just end up being like they have apparently McDonald's Wi-Fi, which is just a way of saying the Wi-Fi is awful, which is the best way of saying it, considering the fact that, yeah, I know the pain of that, to be honest, because I used to have Wi-Fi that used to be that bad, and it's just a case of when you get better Wi-Fi, it's just like a huge improvement. I mean, I've seen improvements in the Wi-Fi now, but yeah, would also just like to see some stuff done properly, like fixing glitches, like Cody's, like Codemasters, I feel, is a kind of a troll for a name for a company that really doesn't know how to fix bugs properly. Like, it's just a thing that happens, unfortunately. And I don't know why it's a thing, but it just is. They just don't fix stuff, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 1. I have no idea what's going on there. Probably just someone having a spin, maybe something like that. Who knows? I think actually it was Validate Viper, because Viper just fell back massively. I think indeed that was. I'm going to have a look, see what's going on there. I think he's just spun actually, so yeah. Let's put him under pressure of Tom Battlers for P8. So, actually, does he have wing damage? Let's go and have a look. Can't tell with that, Williams. No wing damage on that Williams. I think he got away with it. Either that or it's very, very light and it's not noticeable. But he's put himself right under pressure from Tom Battlers and the Toro Rosso really there. So this has become probably the new closest battle, as Syrah is once again setting a new fastest lap, and he's 2.1 seconds behind Tom 123 for the win. And it's 23 laps out of 35, so the race has gone relatively quickly, but this is one of those tracks where it can be really good. And when it's really good, it's really good, but when it's bad, it's just bad. It just is like that. Once again, I think Validate Viper's going to have to go defensive. No, he's not. Tom Battlers doesn't really go for a move. Sarah's picked himself. Yeah, our time penalty, he's on 6 seconds, so he has to do a lot of hard work to get away from Urban Unicorn in P4. I like the fact that he has that penalty. Urban Unicorn does concede with the fact that also he has 6 seconds worth of penalties as well, so could be an issue there. I think Tom Battlers may. I don't think either of these guys here, they'll have a penalty, so this is purely for position for the most part, and I think I'm expecting that Validated Viper spun at some point when we were looking at the battle between Benzilla and Urban Unicorn, which is just jumping between 4/10 and 6/10 at this moment in time. And that's caused an issue. It looks like there's a little bit of wiggle from the rear end of that Williams, and it looks like that maybe that spin's added some tire wear extra on there, which really wasn't needed for Viper. And when he's locking up like that, unless that's spectator glitch, then I don't think he really needs to be doing that, to be honest. It looks like Benzilla is actually starting to put pressure on Urban Unicorn a little bit. And it looks like Urban Unicorn probably won't actually really be going all that much further than where he is at the moment. Is he going to be? We'll go and check on Benzilla and Urban Unicorn in a second to see if he can make a move. He's not close enough. Unless he's not using EZRS and he's saving it. He may well be doing. No move was really made there, so Tom Battlers doesn't quite have the pace to overtake Validate Viper right there. So Top Tom has really fell off the back of this battle, I think mostly because of that contact with Urban Unicorn, but I think he got away without damage, so he didn't lose too much time in the way of that. It's currently P6 for him in this race. Looking like he'll be almost safe there, Kusekes, with him still over a second behind him. In terms of that, as we've got 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix lap, 25 out of 35. Very short lap this, of course, in terms of the lap time distance. We're only running about, say, about 119s, 118s at the moment, maybe 117s for some of the quicker guys. And sorry about that. Long day. Somewhere along, it's really just about that in terms of the fact of the laps are very short in terms of this track, so they do tend to go very quickly. And even on a dragging race, which is kind of what's happening here, kind of not a lot that's going on as much as per what happened in Germany. I think, there's Tom 123's got outside, yeah, another time to last 6 seconds now, but Sarah and Urban Unicorn behind him both have time penalties of their own, so really they're kind of balancing themselves out, to be honest, in terms of that. So it looks like Tom Battlers was briefly very close there. Possibly with most likely with the DRS, but really nothing going, to be honest. And back into what is a single file line corner again. Really no way of making move into here, because Unless the driver is same qualifying, if they run wide, that's the only way you're going to make that move stick, to be honest. You're not going to be able to make the move stick in any other way, I don't think. So this track, they consider it Monaco without the barriers, mostly because of the fact of it's very difficult to overtake on. It very much has the resemblances of a street circuit. I mean, you've got one, maybe two straights on the entire circuit, and the rest is basically just all corners, pretty much. So it looks like this is the closest that Tom Battlers has got yet. Can he do anything with it this time? He is pushing now. He's gonna see it coming as we have the aerial shot into turn one. Can Viper hold on? Indeed, he can. Tom Ballard's going to try and go around the outside though, and he's going to have the inside line for the next corner. He's managed to do the over. He's managed to do the under and the over and under on Viper, but Viper's still there. They're still side by side. Little bit of contact there between the Williams and the Toro Rosso, and it looks like Viper has managed to keep hold of the position. So this is our Unicorn picks by an pen penalties now. It's 9 seconds. This is going to be. It's going to cut. These are costing him, to be honest. So once again, can't clear him. He's infamous, still reminding us of the fact of his pace. He's still pulling away from. He's actually the gap's come down a little bit. It's at 6.6 seconds to Tom 123 for the win, but it's not really gone anything below 6.5. It's kind of just been thereabouts. So Benzilla looks like he might be going for a move potentially, and not able to make it into turn one. DRS not being the most effective, because the DRS you'd think would be effective on the 1-2 straights that is actually on in this track in terms of the home straight, or the start-finish line, and the first corner, but really you can only make a move into that corner if you're near someone. You can't really make it if it's anything like that. If you're any further back than about 5/10, like you can maybe gain in with about 5/10 of a second, but you're not going to be able to improve in anything. You're not going to be able to get anything more than that. So, yeah, it's all about trying to be close within about 4/10, because if you're within 4/10, maybe 3/10, you can potentially think about making a move if you get enough of the slipstream and using the maximum of what you can of the DRS modes in your fuel mix, depending on what these guys are running on this point, because at this point they're running on worn rubber, but what the mediums tend to do is they will tend to have a second wind, if you so wish to call it that, where they will end up being better. They'll wear down a little bit, and then they'll suddenly get better again, as it looks like Benziller's finally going for the move in Urban Unicorn, and it looks like he's finally pulled it off. He's been sitting behind for quite a few laps now. He'll have the DRS to finish the move off. Urban Unicorn will not be able to do anything. Locks up a little bit, Benziller makes the move, and he is up to P4 with a 5.7 second gap to VSR Serra in P3. I do think, however, that Benziller might only have one time penalty if he does have one, rather than what's happening there. Tom Battlers looks like he's had an issue at some point, and he's 7/10 back now from the back of Validated Viper, but it looks like he's gaining back in again, so it looks like he just made a small mistake there, ran wide and came back in and has managed to bring the gap back down, although the gap is going back up again, so maybe he's had an issue somewhere. Who knows? As it looks like Benziller has now actually got the pace, and well, you see the difference. I don't think Urban Unicorn had the pace, to be honest, because Benziller is starting to pull away from the Sauber driver. Benziller's starting to pull from the Sauber driver right there, and he's managing it. It looks like Serra has actually got a gap down. He's been chipping away at the gap between him and Tom 123 for the win. It's 1.7 seconds now, so Tom 123 for the win has not been able to gain anything on Infamous. He's kind of been sitting. He's been sitting still since really he got past very at the beginning of the race, but has not been able to do anything since that. He's just kind of sat in second place really, and penalties may end up costing here if they're not careful because of that reasoning. Benzolina will try and see if he's got enough left in the tank to go after VSR Serra. It's 5.9 seconds. We'll see what that happens on that front, to be honest. coming back on board with the battle for P8 between Validated Viper and Tom Battlers. Not really. Yeah, this race is unlike Germany. Yeah, I can definitely tell this race is definitely not the most interesting. And yeah, it's a little difficult to commentate over races like this because especially when you're doing this by yourself, because it's a lot like you've got to think of things to say without being silent. It's just basically about just talking, to be honest. As SVG Aqua picks up on himself, I think that's the second time penalty of the race, so he's on 6 seconds. Some people have actually been quite good with their time penalties, not getting them this race, so it looks like Tom Battlers, again, is going to shape up a move on the Williams of Validated Viper. And here we go, heading down the straight. Viper will go to the right, probably to defend the inside line, probably last second. No, he's not. He's going to try and think about. Tom Battlers thinks about the dive, is not able to pull the move off though. Little bit of drifting off the exit, off the corner as well for the Toro Rosso driver, but not able to actually do anything with it. As it looks like Sarah's finally broke himself in the DRS zone actually as well, to note as well. As it looks like after chipping away for those last few laps, I mean, he's just been busy just picking up the pace on Tom 123 for the win with 5, 6 laps to go. It looks like he's finally managed to get himself into the zone where he's actually going to be able to do something. Go on board and see what he does at some point shortly, if we can see at some point about that. So really, that's going to be an interesting development to see what happens there, because Sarah's actually, I think Urban Unicorn has had to pit, so that's a 5-second stop go. We'll probably see him retire. Indeed he has. He's done. I think he may well have got damage, or he may well have got I think as soon as he got a penalty, he just retired. So that's his day done. So that will not be a double point scoring for Sauber on this afternoon. So unfortunate right there. You'll have to come back stronger next round. And that means, I think, that everyone who's still racing will get points, because we only have 10 runners left in this Grand Prix. So, anyway, carrying on to see where Sarah is, because we've not really seen a lot of Sarah, to be honest. Looks like he's within 7/10 of 7/10 of Tom 123 for the one who's really struggling, and I have no idea. He just seems to have a real lack of pace. And it seems to be that he got qualifying right, and he got the one shot. He had the one shot pace, but really just nothing there. So it looks like Tom Battlers has actually managed to clear Validated Viper. Indeed, he has in the middle sector, actually, of all places as well. So Validated Viper's made a mistake somewhere that I've not seen, and it looks like that he's actually managed to get back past. And, well, that's going to be interesting, as Tom Battlers has finally got himself past for what I think is the first time in this race. In terms of in front of Validated Viper, he spent so many laps behind the Williams driver, and he just either bided his time, or he just couldn't clear him. His Sarah's got himself time penalties on 9 seconds now. Oh, I think there might be damage for these two, because they both come into the pits. Well, that's unfortunate. I don't know what's happened there, but well, that's a problem. These two will probably go into the ultra softs for the remaining few laps of the race and just see what they can do. I think really lose, because SVG Yak was going to be, they'll come out behind him, behind SVG Aqua, but they're going to get past him very easily. As it looks like, is Sarah going to be able to get close enough with the remaining laps to actually make a move stick? So we have a yellow flag in sector 1. So it looks like Tom Battlers has indeed managed to get ahead of Viper, and they're both now on the ultra soft tires. So 3 lap stint to the end, 3 lap sprint to the end on those ultra softs for those two. It looks like Amaze is kind of not in this race. He's been on this for 17 laps, and he's kind of not in this Grand Prix. So it's been quite an attrition race, to be honest, in terms of the fact of kind of survival of fittest point. Is Tom has got another time penalty. That's 9 seconds for him now, I think. That's going to be a problem. It looks like he's balancing out between him and him. Infamous is just stuck with the 3 second that he's actually ended up getting, so it looks like he's managed to get away with only having the 1 3-second time penalty. And yeah, it's kind of what's happened there about that. And he's managed to just avoid getting any more in terms of that. And he's going to win by he's going to win by at least 5 seconds. 5 seconds. 4 or 5, 4.5, 4 or 5 seconds, somewhere along those lines. And looks like Sarah still not quite within range as Infamous. Again, even at this late stage, he's kind of just doing fast laps for fun at this point because of the fact that he's been very busy with just nothing else to do. So really that's all it is, to be honest. Not able to make the move stick. He's got another DRS on to do this, but I don't think he's going to be able to clear him. Nope, he's not going to be able to do it on this lap. He's going to have to wait another lap till they get round to the DRS zone again. And it's 0.2 of a second between him and Tom123 for the win, with Tom123 for the win. Well, he was losing time before anyway, Infamous. Now he's just losing even more time because of that he has to he's basically battling with Sarah now. Looks like he's not. Might not actually be able to catch up that quickly with SVG Aqua unless they've got 2 laps to do it. Tom Battlers and Validated Viper. Have to see how they get on. Yeah. As Sarah's fell back a little bit, he's now half a second back on Tom123. As Tom Battler's now sits fast lap, of course, on the ultra soft tires, and he's got Viper in check just behind him, 2 tenths back. So it looks like Viper's not really being able to do anything. I wonder if there's been contact between those two at some point. Well, we weren't looking. Because that's the only thing I can think of, unless there's been a puncture. Which I wouldn't think that would be the case with these tires, because they're fairly durable in terms of what they can actually do. But I suppose Infamous got a puncture at Germany and had to go and pit within about 2 laps from the end, and that's kind of looks like that might what's happened there. It does look like nothing's really going to happen though. So we'll probably have to go on board at some point with the race winner, because I think we find almost this race is almost done. I mean, kind of been a very long race in terms of what's going on. Anyway, sorry about that, I was just checking something there. And anyway, as we come around as Validated represents his fastest lap, but coming around the final corner, it has been a dominant performance for VSR Infamous, who wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. An amazing drive there from the Mercedes driver to recover right there, and it looks like Eke is going to get himself time penalty right at the end, and it looks like. And Benzella jumps to P2 with less time penalties, so he's Red Bull. It's a Red Bull 2-4. Eke is going to come home in P6. I think he's happy with that result. I can tell there. Mighty Dylan is going to be P7. I mean, the gaps are huge at the back of the field here. Comes Mighty Dylan in the Ferrari. Been quite a quiet race for the Ferrari man. So the one half of the Ferrari garage. Been outshone by Sarah today, but quick in his own right, and well, in the midfield area, in the right areas where he needs to be. He's kind of kept himself out of trouble. It's going to be P7. Indeed it is. And SVG Yakko is going to get P8. It's going to be P8 and P9. As I just see Validate Viper and the wall in the background. So, yeah. Anyway. That will all be from this. That'll be all from this round. And well done to the podium finishers of VSR Infamous, Benzilla, and VSR Sarah. Eventually we'll get to the results screen in a small second, but that will bring down the points tally just a little bit in the championship and make Sarah just think away just a little bit. So, as we get through these screens, that was not connected. So, the results. It was Infamous who won the race. Mercedes from the Red Bull of Ben Zoller, who had no penalties, so well done to him for that one. Baser Sarah finishes P3, exactly where he started, and considering what his race was early on, I'd say that was a pretty good result. Don't want to for the one will be disappointed with his lack of pace, I'd say, from that race, even though it looks like he has pace for a little bit of it. Just didn't look like he just had the overall pace with him to go with Infamous. Top Tom finishes P5, Eke P6. Tom Battler's P7, Mighty Dylan in P8, Validate Viper in P9, SVG Jakob actually finished P10 after being jumped by everyone ahead of him in penalties, and then that was the final finisher. I think everyone else below that did not finish. So, as we head back to the lobby, let's have a look at the next track. Which I'm not sure might well be the final track. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Would have to go and make sure on that, but the next track will be Belgium, so that's going to be a good race to look forward to. But until then, that'll be all from me, and look forward to seeing you at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps.
People are trying to hurt me. Do you know how dangerous she is?